What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. Today we're looking at the 9-game main slate for Monday, kicking off at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Coors Field on this slate as well. Again, Boston going into Colorado here for the early week series. Grande, how we doing, man?
Doing well. It's going to be an interesting slate. Considering Boston is in such an elite for the next few days. How much Boston do we load up on? Obviously, a lefty on the mound isn't the best thing ever, but it's fine because it's Coors. And how can we afford pitching around Boston? So it's going to be a fun puzzle to solve here.
Yep, big time puzzle to solve. We do have some potential weather as well. If you look at the board, it is summertime in Atlanta, so there's always the opportunity for rain in the area. We saw that this weekend with some delayed games as well. Philadelphia, Minnesota also potentially dealing with some wet weather in the area, so we'll have to be on the lookout to see if this 9-game slate turns into a 6 or 7 or 8 game slate. That said, looking at starting pitching, Cole Reagans is your top price starter. And how about this? $9,000 is your top price starter here on this 9-game slate, which means more than likely we're going to have some extra cash for hitters, not needing to spend up into the 10K range or even high nines. Reagans home against Arizona. Reynaldo Lopez against Cincinnati's at 9K. Rangers Suarez, Tanner Houck, Miller and Ober in that range, Green, Diaz. So pretty interesting, like 6 or 7 pitchers basically in that top tier. Where are you looking to start builds today?
Yeah, I mean, Reagans is elite, $9,000. We knew he'd get here. It only took him a couple starts that he shouldn't have been underpriced at to get us here. But back-to-back 7 innings, 2 earned or fewer, a lot of strikeouts, and DraftKings just couldn't dare list him in the 8s anymore. So Reagans is elite. Not really interested in Reynaldo Lopez. Going into the break, had that 11-hit game. Cincinnati in July ranks number 2 overall in OPS, 871 as a team against right-handed pitching. So I'm out on Lopez, who, when you look at the peripheral numbers, like salute to Reynaldo Lopez for the first half he had. I'm not going to take it away from him. He did have some pretty lucky stuff on his metrics, suggesting some second half regression. Especially when he's a 30-year-old who's never made it as a starter yet.
The sub 2 ERA seems unrealistic to continue. His Sierra's around 4, his xFIP's 3.8, his FIP's low 3s, which is still pretty good. His expected ERA is 4.24. So a guy that you would think would likely maybe start to see some of these runs pile up. Maybe this is the matchup for it to occur. What are your thoughts, though, on sort of the rest of this tier? I mean, obviously, you mentioned loving Reagans. Do you find yourself attracted to any of these other matchups? Again, Houck's in the Coors. Miller gets the LA matchup, which obviously is a pretty favorable one. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay getting to Houck if that's where you end up. 8,500, we know how bad Colorado can be. Obviously, Colorado's shown a lot of power specifically at times, but it's been better against lefties. That's not what Houck is. So I'd be okay there. Miller is just obviously better at home. I mean, the splits are absurd. We want to talk about some of these Mariners pitcher splits. Look no further than Bryce Miller. This guy's splits it does not make sense. Like I know there's pitchers in baseball that have
Nestor Cortez, except
this is like, I mean 9 fantasy points per game on the road, 23 at home, ERA 3.4 runs high. Like it just doesn't make sense. But again, bad offense at home where it's impossible to hit already. Like Seattle's already hard enough to
face the Angels at home, and he had 33 fantasy points in that game. So
I like Bryce Miller 84 for sure. I think he'll garner a lot of ownership. No thanks on Ober. I know Ober has a lot of strikeout appeal. Philly, if you want to play him in large field tournaments, that's fine.
Sure.
I'm definitely interested in Hunter Green though. I mean, I think this is one of my favorite spots on the board. I've ad nauseum talked about how bad the Braves have been against right-handers, and it hasn't really stopped in the month of July, like just
Yeah.
narrowing it down to that split, they're still 20th in OPS against right-handed pitching, and that's a 695 team OPS, 26% strikeout rate over that span. The one thing, and obviously Hunter Green with the strikeouts, that's what Hunter
Yeah.
Green throws hard and gets strikeouts. The one thing I guess that could like potentially play on Atlanta's side is their 191 isolated power against right-handed pitching, which is eighth in the league. But you look at Hunter Green, like does not for a guy who throws as hard as he does, like does not let home runs leave the yard. For
Yeah.
the ballpark that he pitches in, typically, and for like how hard, typically like harder it comes in, the harder it goes out, that
Yeah.
old cliche saying. I mean, the guy like does not allow home runs and only 3 on the road this year, which I think is like a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very interested in Hunter Green.
Yeah, listen, and big blow to that Atlanta line. Everybody struggled really in the Atlanta lineup, but Ozzy Albies out 8 weeks now.
Yeah, 8 weeks. Fractured wrist, right?
Yeah,
Fractured
yeah.
wrist.
So now you're taking just like what would be another potentially scary bat, in that lineup if when they're right, and now he's out. And what do they replace that with in their lineup? And certainly not going to be the caliber of ceiling player or even floor player that Ozzy Albies is. So I'm with you here. Hunter Green, you mentioned the home runs, only 10 home runs allowed in his 19 starts, 110 innings. The only thing that ever gets to him is the walks and the pitch count.
Yep.
And lately that, hasn't been as big of a problem. Like I can live if Hunter Green's going to give me 2 walks a game. It's when it gets to 4, 5 walks a game and the pitch count gets up to 90, that you're going to have some problems. But I'm with you there. I think $8,200 Hunter Green here looks pretty good. Going down under 8K. What are your thoughts here? Spencer Arrighetti running up against Oakland. The last 2 starts for him have been good, but Oakland has been dynamite.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Number one offense in July. Yeah. Righty and lefties. Number 1 offense in July.
They are amazing there. Would you go with Gilbert against KC here?
I'm not against it. I'm against like targeting Bobby Witt, but I am not against like targeting the rest of the lineup. Because it's like Bobby Witt and friends at this point, right? It is literally Bobby Witt and friends. Another 3 hits on Sunday. Yeah, I'm good with Gilbert. I mean, Kansas City's in July, like slightly better than average. They don't strike out a lot. That would probably be the one concern I'd have with Gilbert when you could just pay $200 more to get Hunter Green. But
Gilbert really hasn't had much strikeout upside in his 2 starts. Had just 2 strikeouts against Toronto, a team that doesn't strike out. Did have 5 against Atlanta, not terrible. And a no decision. If he got that win, he would have been up over 20 fantasy points. Are you a believer in Blake Snell? I know it's the Dodgers, but it is a lefty. Does slightly neutralize some of the bats in that lineup for LA here. And Blake Snell, since coming back from the IL, 12 innings, shutout baseball, 11 strikeouts. Thoughts here?
I watched Shohei Ohtani hit a ball out of Dodger Stadium on Sunday, so I am okay not to. He literally left it like.
Did you see where that ball was thrown by Cutter Crawford? It was as middle as middle can be. But okay,
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't want to go against the Dodgers either. But listen, when Blake Snell's on, he can shut down any team in baseball.
No, I mean he had a perfect game in that, right? He was perfect through like 6 innings in that.
Yeah, one right, perfect and then they brought the bullpen in and like immediately like gave everything up.
I would say, and just for like the Dodgers have not been as good in July against left-handed pitching. Obviously, like smaller sample when you talk about lefties and whatnot. Yeah. They are number 1 in baseball against left-handed pitching in terms of OPS. So they have taken the throne. Just for context there.
Sure. That's fine. 100% not even saying that you should be building core lineups around, but if Blake Snell goes out there and throws another good outing, he's not under 8K anymore, right? So like there's just that type of notable upside there. Lorenzen 76, Feds right below Snell. They're kind of bookending in that matchup for the White Sox and the Rangers. Any thoughts there?
Not necessarily when you could just play Tobias Myers at and not Tobias Harris at $7,200 because
Yeah.
this kid's been really good. I mean, like he does allow fly balls at times, and there's been times where he's given up home runs. I mean, 10 home runs in 13 starts and 14 outings. But I really, really like him. I know the Cubs have been better of late, and obviously, there's always the chance we don't know what this game is going to look like. There's always the chance that we find out that it's 15 miles an hour out in Wrigley Field, and that's not a fun thing. But I'm very interested to see how long we get Tobias Myers at this price because 7,700 was the most he's been his last start. He threw 8 scoreless innings and they decreased his price by $500. I am a little confused by that, but I think at 7,200, I just trust the how good he's been over really anything else.
Sure. Hey, would you pitch any of these other guys?
Wouldn't even probably consider it.
Okay, gotcha. Again, we generally look for the cheap plays here on the board, but any notable matchups you're looking to take advantage of? Again, Boston being in Colorado, Connor Wong's $4,400 going up against Gomber. I guess that brings the question though. Austin Gomber's
Yes.
5K is the cheapest pitcher on the slate.
He is.
And we know how bad the Red Sox are against lefties.
We do.
Do you give Austin Gomber a nod?
We don't.
We don't. Okay.
Just, no, I know what you're saying.
The question.
Look,
Dude, look at his home road splits. He's even way better at home than he is on the road.
I know, but like, let's before we go there.
Yeah.
Before we do that.
Yeah.
Let's look at how true that is, like based on because like I know what you're saying, but like doesn't
every
that feel kind
that
of
we talked about for the most part though against Boston like has come through. Even bad lefties has come. Like Trevor Rogers only lasted 3 innings. He had 6 Ks.
JP Sears last start in Boston.
Yeah, 8 Ks, 5 shutout or something like that. 5 1/3.
So Austin Gomber at home. I mean, dude, there's some bad stuff gonna happen to Austin Gomber at home.
I mean, theoretically, sure, 4.58 FIP, xFIP there,
dude. But like, look, strikeout rate 3% lower, walk rate a little higher. 245 average is 45%, 45 points. The BABIP 245. I mean, there's just batted ball luck is unbelievable for him.
But does that turn around against a team that can't hit left-handed pitching?
You know what solves a team that can't hit left-handed pitching, John? Getting to go to Coors Field and face Austin Gomber.
We've said that I think a lot.
I know. I'm not. How about this? Like, I will concede that there's a potential risk at going like full bore Boston.
They have Boston last 30 days, 289 plate appearances, 32.2% strikeout rate against lefties, 208 batting average, 275 WOBA, 147 ISO. 147 ISO actually isn't the worst. It's kind of right in the middle of the pack there. Dodgers, for instance, are 146, so they're even a little bit below. But 32.2% strikeout rate, a 208 batting average is second to last only to the Angels, which flipped from the beginning of the year, obviously. And then their WOBA is second to last also to the Angels. So, I mean, listen, I don't like it as much as you do. But if I'm making 20 lineups, I might have like 2 Austin Gomber in there.
I'm more likely to just kind of not play Austin Gomber, but also not play 5 Red Sox.
Sure.
I'd be more likely to play 5 Red Sox than I would be play Austin Gomber, but also like in a scenario where I'm like, man, the Red Sox do strike out a lot. Maybe I'll just kind of avoid the situation.
Sure. Fair enough. All right. Sidetracked back to the catcher position here. Where are some of your favorites to go here? We talked about pitchers blowing up. I mean, Tyler Anderson eventually, right? He had the one bad game, and then he went to the All-Star game. Do you look at someone like a Garver or a Rowley here against him?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting with Anderson. We saw J-Rod leave Sunday's game, so we'll see what the
X-ray is negative on him for that.
We'll see what his status is going into Monday, but definitely the catchers here for Seattle. It's just a terrible ballpark, obviously. So, but if you want to get to Rowley or Garver, you mentioned Connor Wong. He is very good against lefties. You could definitely go there. Langoliers You want to talk about like Arrigetti's obviously coming off a pretty good couple starts. Lundgaard just has massive power. If you just want like power upside at the catcher position, that's your guy. I know he's better against lefties, but I'd be okay going up against Arrigetti. Obviously, Yanier Diaz going up against Hogan Harris, that's a good play. No problem going there. Under the 4K range, I mean, Moreno gets a lefty, tough lefty though. I don't think I really want to go there.
Yeah.
I feel like Jonah Heim 32, Corey Lee 31, Eric Haas double donged on Sunday. Is he gonna play? I mean, it took 8 days for him to play in between starts, but like,
was it lefty on the mound today?
I don't think so. I think he homered off of.
What do the Cubs pitch today?
No, it was Joe Ryan that started for Minnesota. Right. So I know the first one came off Ryan. I don't know if the second one came off Ryan, but either way, he started. If they're just like, hey, we kind of have to play him, right? When he double donged, like you can always take a look.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's move on over to first. Obviously, you have Ohtani up there, Harper versus Ober, Freeman homered. Both Ohtani and Freeman homered Sunday night. Christian Walker, tough spot for him. Matt Olson's not hitting you or I at the moment. Do you have a core play as the top spend up as the first today?
Probably Harper if I'm spending up. But obviously Ober has a lot of swing and miss stuff. It would probably be Harper above 5K.
Okay. Mid-tier options for us here. Pascantino gets Diaz, Candelario, Bowers. You know, again, the mid-tier doesn't really like jump out to me here. Is there a play you're looking at?
Not really. I mean, you can play Tolia at 41. Worst end of the split, like he hits all of his home runs from the right side, but he does have just power for days. So Tolia against Houck.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Ryan here. Getting called out the pitch for the Dodgers. Would that be anything that you'd be interested in?
I mean, yeah, he can be fine. He was good in his final few starts at AAA. I'd be okay with it. I prefer Tobias Myers for 200 more, but like the Giants also like can be so anemic at times. Like they just went into Coors and scored like 8 runs in 3 games. So, yeah, I'd be okay getting to River Ryan.
Okay, yeah, I mean, he's one of their he's their second best pitching prospect, 4th in their organization. Getting called up from them. So just kind of curious, the matchup there. Because obviously I was scrolling down, like, man, I got Lamonte Wade here. I know he's slumping a little bit since coming back, but still hitting over 300 and 840 OPS. Get the lefty righty matchup against Ryan, $3,900 there. Andrew Vaughn. I mean, we talked Lorenzen being the reverse splits guy. I mean, get the righties in this White Sox lineup against Lorenzen. So something like Andrew Vaughn, maybe.
Yeah.
Any other values?
No. I was in RIP Ty France in Seattle. He was waived.
Yeah, he got waived. Yeah. Hey, trade deadline's 8 days away.
You know what? Seth Brown. That would be my punt. If I'm punting anyone, he double donged the other day upon returning. That would be my punt.
Second base here. We got a bunch of our favorite second basemen getting their favorite split sides. But would you spend up for Marte versus Reagans, or would you rather Altuve versus Harris?
Altuve.
I would agree. Easy call there. Willie Castro also gets a lefty. Are you buying into the continued success for Ranger Suarez, or are we going with the strong Castro splits here?
I mean, Ranger definitely limped into the All-Star break. I think that's a fair way to put it. Last 4 starts were not what the first 15 were. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to play any Twins, the Twins have kind of been struggling a little bit. I mean, they have a lot of Miranda, Correa. I mean, half their team is on the IL. Royce Lewis, like their 3 best hitters this year are probably on the IL. Buxton's obviously been amazing, but
double dong Buxton on Sunday.
I'm okay getting to Willie Castro. We know he'll hit somewhere near the top of the line. I think last time he faced lefty, he hit right in the middle of the line.
We were joking that he was going to hit 8th because they don't have Fangraphs, and all of a sudden he was like hitting 2nd. We're like, whoa, like what happened here? Is they still hit like Margot leadoff,
Yep, they did.
But like Castro was right there. And listen, Willie Castro really slumped for a little bit there, starting to pick it back up. That's what Willie Castro is. He's not a guy that's gonna can sustain, the production there. Bryce Terang, $4,400, another guy that is really slumping, but early this season had a lot of success against the lefty matchup against the side, has stolen base upside there. Massey, India, Horner's in this range. They gave us Brooks Lee with second base eligibility here at 4K. Like, what are your thoughts in the mid tier?
Yeah, I mean, Massey will likely be in the lineup. He didn't play Sunday, so I assume he'll be there. Terang's fine. We obviously know the stolen base upside. Garcia's been better of late. He's just hitting near the bottom of the lineup. I don't know what Kansas City is. I guess maybe it was to spark Michael Garcia, but batting Adam Frazier first is not like really exciting. But either of those Kansas City second basemen are fine. Horner is okay. Brooks Lee, as you mentioned, he's slumping, but I do like the eligibility. I also do like him from the right side of the plate. That's his better side. So that's probably where I'd go as well.
Yep, I'm with you there. I think there's any like obvious value plays down here, but nothing really. Like, they still Westbrook up. Like, he could be in the lineup versus a lefty. I guess we'll see.
He probably will. I don't know if you saw Romy Gonzalez has first base eligibility. Yeah. He's also $4,000, and I would not play Romy Gonzalez at $4,000, even if there was 9 Romy Gonzalez in the Red Sox lineup.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. All right, third base. Devers in the lefty at 63. Bohm, Riley, your top 4. Devers would be the obvious option there of that group. What are your thoughts here at third base?
My thoughts are, I just read the note on Royce Lewis, and he's going out on a rehab assignment. That's awesome to hear.
Sooner rather than later. That's good.
Devers, perfectly fine getting to. Alec Bohm continues to just drive runs in. Actually, only 1 run since 10 games. Wow, slowed down pretty drastic.
He had all those home runs at the home run derby,
True. Riley's been good. He's been fine. I don't have a lot of interest, honestly, outside of Devers at the top. Like, all those guys are fine.
Yeah, you take a shot at Bregman down here against Harris at 42.
Yep.
We talked about Lee gets the dual positional eligibility here. Value plays. Novelli homered. Would you give Novelli a look at 33?
Man, he has just like 3 games on his whole resume that have, and then everything else is just pure.
Maybe this is the
garbage.
kickoff point,
Yeah. I mean, he's 3,300. It's fine. This is not a very not a very appealing position.
I agree. Let's go to one that should be better. Shortstop, Bobby Witt, Trey Turner, Ellie De La Cruz, your top 3.
Yes.
And Seager's still 5K.
Yeah, they won't move his price. I mean, dude, Bobby Witt is just like, I get Gilbert Diaz has looked good. This is, as good as he gets. So if
maybe
you want to play
the batting title this year. So
if you want to play Bobby Witt, play Bobby Witt. If you want to play Trey Turner, he's in one of those like power surges right now that Trey Turner seemingly goes on every year, where like they're like, oh, Trey Turner only has 7 home runs, and then like 2 months later, they're like,
coming out of the All-Star break before Friday's game, he had 9 homers in 12 games in the month of July.
Yeah, I mean that he does this yearly, where he just is homering. So if you want to play Trey Turner, by all means, do it. Ellie De La Cruz is in one of those rhythms right now. He's looked really good. He looked great going into the break. He looks great out of the break. We obviously know he has as high a ceiling as any player in the game. Probably, I would say he might be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But if he's not 1, you can count how many players on one hand that are like.
If that strikeout rate ever just drops a little bit,
like not even significantly, just a little bit,
get to like 27%, right? And he'll be Aaron Judge, right?
I mean, how many hits? Like, how many hits and stolen bases does he add just by putting the ball in play? Like just literally just legging things out. It's absurd.
Yeah, he's got a 30.8% strikeout rate right now. So like it's even a little bit lower than I think it was last time I had looked at it. His offensive WAR is 19.6 on fan, which is an absurd number on Fangraphs there. But like if you ever got to like a 27% strikeout rate, even like infinitely more production would come out of that, just more balls in play out of him because he has just insane exit velocity, power. Not O'Neill Cruz exit velocity because that guy hits the ball harder than anybody in baseball, but basically close enough. Seager being disrespected at 5K.
Always.
Sedan is getting the Coors Field bump, but I mean, like, I don't know, he came out of the break swinging, stolen bases in both games. Like, would you pay the 46 for Sedan Rafael?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a comfortable thing knowing that he's going to bat ninth and you're going to roster him at 4,600. But like, who cares if he's going to do this every game and now have the righty lefty matchup in Coors Field? Sure.
I agree with you. Okay, I talked Castro, Tovar homered. Was it 3 straight games he had homers in?
Dude, he homers every. I mean, he has been. He's great. I don't know what else to say. He's been great.
Yeah.
If you want to play him, you look. Tanner Houck has been great also. Tanner Houck also has not pitched 19 times this year. He hasn't pitched in Coors. So like
Tanner Houck limped a little bit going into the All-Star break, gave up a moonshot homer to Shohei Ohtani in the All-Star game.
He sure did. Yep.
And what do we say? Guys like Tanner Houck that are like slitter guys that need to get the ball to go down. Well, Coors Field, if you can't get those pitches down, they hang and they get banged. So
the one time he didn't this year was 3 home runs against San Diego. So right.
Yep, definitely possible. Not looking to say go bet all Colorado.
No.
They're there. Pena's 39 against a lefty. If you wanted to do that, you could. DeJong has dual position eligibility if you're just searching home run potential.
Schumann has been really good. I know, like, he was kind of pushed to the side when
they call up Jacob Wilson. The dude immediately gets a hit, scores a run, but pulls his hamstring, and now they're like, he's gonna be out for a while. Yep. So this dude who is like about to lose his job is now locked into starting role,
and he's raking.
Yeah,
and he's raking. So,
yep, nothing worse than that for Jacob Wilson. Man, hit 470 minor league games. So could not get the man out at any level of the minor leagues. Gets called up, immediately gets a hit, and then gets hurt. So sad days. Couldn't give him an IV there. No other shortstops though.
No.
Okay. Outfield, fun position. Find your top guy, spend up for it. Jarren Duran is worthy of being 6K, so I'm not even gonna blink at that price.
He's worthy of being 6K, not in Coors.
Yeah, right, exactly. O'Neill against lefty in Coors at 57, feels expensive, but it is the right matchup for him. So if you wanted to spend up on that, you certainly can. Jordan cycled. How about that?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous he's gonna tweak something. Anytime we start getting aggressive with Jordan on the bases, bad things start happening.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's a lot of running. Last time he stole a base, he literally didn't play for a couple days. So
he left that game with an injury, didn't he? So
yeah, James had him at really low ownership. Don't worry, I remember exactly how it happened.
That's sad. Can anybody get Brent Rooker out?
No.
This is where we go. The Rooker Butler. Where's Lawrence Butler's price at here?
Probably still like 3K. He's been like 3K for.
We're in the 3K range.
He is
$3,500 for what is the best player in baseball right now.
He's pretty good.
That feels like just an auto click against Spencer Arrighetti.
Yeah, we're good, dude. They are we are at a point in the year that the Oakland Athletics lead basically every offensive category for the entire month. And I understand that there's still time left in the month, and there was also a break in the month, and that's what Oakland needed to lead something in a month. But they have been amazing. You mentioned Rooker, you mentioned Lawrence Butler. I mean, this team has been. It's been crazy.
It's like Major League 4, right?
It is Major League 4.
They were not supposed to win. They're moving the team, all of these things, and yet despite that themselves and ownership, these guys are playing. So, Major League 4 Moneyball's back. This time it counts. Jackson Chourio has been really good lately.
Yep.
3 hits, 2 hits and a homer, 2 stolen bases the other day. If you want to
Wait, hold on. We skipped an entire tier of outfielders.
No, I know.
Because you got excited about Lawrence Butler.
His price tag was also in the same
Okay.
range as Butler. I was like, that guy is also pretty good right now, given where his price point is. We missed like basically all of the 5 things. So, if you're not in on Snell, you got Teoscar, home run champion. You got Robert here, Doyle. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Fred Doyle,
at
home has just continuously dominated baseball. So hard to not pay or at least consider 4,900 for Doyle. And like, even if he's not homering, like the speed upside is there as well.
Yeah.
Byron Buxton is really hard to not want to click 4,600. They're hitting him in the middle of the order again, like peak Buxton. He is absolutely raking, double donged on Sunday.
When he's healthy, like he has 30 home run upside, right?
Yeah, he's a great hitter. No one's ever doubted the talent. It's just been the health.
The body kept on, failing him. So
yeah. So Buxton at 46 still feels very reasonable. Charlie Blackmon 45. We know he'll lead off. That's fine. I guess the thing we'll see what happens with Refsnyder with the shoulder, ailment that he's dealing with. I don't love 4,400 for Rob Refsnyder because there's always the potential Boston brings in a pinch hitter. But we've seen it the last couple of times that the lefty's been on the mound. They lead Refsnyder off and they bat Jarren Duran second. And they've kind of stuck with that. And I think that's interesting for Refsnyder. It obviously maximizes his at-bats if he's leading off. And obviously good for Duran if he's driving. Like, that's more run-producing opportunity for him as well. So 4,400 for Refsnyder if he plays is obviously interesting. Yoshida 4,200, he's fine. Rhys Hines has had his first taste of not domination last couple days.
The man had a 40% strikeout rate of the minors. Eventually, right? Eventually,
yeah.
He was
gonna. I mean, well, eventually, just how baseball works in general. Sans the strikeout rate. He was not going to continue the first 6 games of his career. He was the best player ever in the first 6 games of his career. So, now he's 4,200. I don't think we need to go there, but if you want to just try to rekindle the Rhys Hines magic, you can. I don't know if did you see the Jorge Soler home run? It was the longest.
I did 460 feet.
It was the longest one until Shohei hit his out of the stadium. You can obviously go Andujar if you want to just continuously abuse Oakland. Andujar has 3 straight multi-hit games out of the break, 3 straight games with an RBI, 3 straight games with double-digit fantasy points. Wyatt Langford 4K, he's fine. JJ Bleday is hitting third, John. He has had a really good end to his first half and then start to the second half. I can't believe, I just cannot believe we're here with Oakland. I just cannot believe we're here. But we are. It's crazy to think that you can comfortably shove 3 Oakland outfielders at your outfield's just Oakland and you're okay with that, but that's actually where we've arrived.
I agree. I like Moore here against Anderson. He's third base and outfield eligible. Eloy's 38. You got Pages versus Snell if you're not buying into the Snell there. Let's see. Mentioned Chourio already. Butler's in our lineup as it is. Let's see.
I do not like the value. I do not like the value.
Yeah, the value is not great here.
Yeah, I mean, you could play
Jake Meyers homer today.
Jake Meyers, and he's good against lefties. So I'd be okay with that. That'd be fine.
Dubon, 3,100 versus lefty. Doesn't really give you a ton of upside, but he's a dude.
He's a able body. You know who's interesting? Victor Robles at 2,400. They hit him On Saturday, they hit Victor Robles second, and he had 2 stolen bases. And he has also been, since he arrived,
Doing
dude.
a lot.
Yeah, dude, since he arrived in Seattle, he is hitting in a good lineup position, and he's just running. And you have another left
10 games.
dude, you have another lefty on the mound, right? Like, they're gonna hit him second. He's 2,400. He actually, I feel like, I mean, he was a former top prospect who just didn't pan out, right? And so, like, how many guys have we talked about this year, like, specifically? Like, I can name just 2, Reynaldo Lopez on the slate, and not on the slate, Jurickson Profar. Like, 2 guys that have just blossomed after a while. Maybe Victor Robles needed to go to Seattle. Maybe he likes the rain.
Had to get out of Washington, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and he go to a better situation for him. Now he's hitting near the top of a lineup that, like, doesn't have anyone who can hit, really. I mean, so 2,400 for Robles on a slate where a lot of people are going to play Boston, right? And want to play Boston. Yeah. I think Victor Robles makes a lot of sense.
All right, so we started a lineup with Miller, Butler, Robles. What did we want our SP2 to be?
Hunter Green.
Hunter Green, yep, I like that. All right, 4,500 to play for the rest of the positions here.
Dude, that is so doable. Like, if you were to plug Devers,
so do we do Devers Witt?
Oh my god,
3,700. I mean, dude, that's well doable. Punt catcher. Find any catcher that will be in a lineup here.
I mean, they'll probably play.
They go Vasquez, or do you think they would go Jeffrey?
Yeah, they'll probably. They might play both. They're so hurt. They might play them both.
We'll just plug Vasquez in for now. It's 3,900. It's first, second, and outfield.
I went to second. You could play Dubon at second.
31, right? Yeah, Dubon. 4,350. First base. Let's see. I mean, Monte Wade's 39. We didn't really Harper was our spend up, but if we did Harper, we'd just do another $2,900 outfield. Was there a punt outfielder?
I don't think there was like a.
Yeah, not without just like jamming somebody in.
Do you wanna punt Seth Brown at 2,900? We could do Andrew Vaughn. You liked at 36.
Yeah, Vaughn's good. Let's do Vaughn for a little bit of power there, and that gives us a $5,100 outfielder, which could be Lorenzen with Vaughn. A little righty stack against Lorenzen or Doyle. That's Houck.
Yeah, I'm good with either of those gentlemen.
Do you have a preference?
I mean, Robert probably makes more sense with the stack. Doyle's obviously in course, so
let's go with the course play. I think that's better. That give us anything 38? Not really. All right, there it is. Example lineup for everybody: Miller, Green, Vasquez, Vaughn, Dubon, Devers, Witt, Butler, Robles, and Doyle. Double spending up Devers, Witt there. Because we're going 2 mid-tier pitchers because you don't need to spend up at starting pitching on this slate. So James will be on your playbook, so check him out there during the day. Get us in Discord. Find us on the X Machine. Hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate you all. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, everybody, we'll catch you later.